Buckeye Nation, what's going on, college football world? Rob and Peter back here with another live. We're discussing a lot of topics tonight, including potential record-shattering number of Ohio State Buckeyes getting drafted tomorrow and throughout the NFL draft this weekend. We're talking doormats of the Big Ten. Who's going to bring up the bottom end of the conference? Who's going to bring up the tail end of this Big Ten football conference come this fall? Who are going to be the easy cupcake wins in conference? And lots more to discuss, too. Obviously, the Nico situation is continuing to develop. There's a new development every day, every hour almost, it seems like. His brothers join him out there and just gets crazier and crazier. But we're going to start with the NFL draft today. It starts tomorrow, obviously. There's a lot of people predicting there might be 15 Buckeyes drafted. I don't know if I'm going to go that high, but Rob, how are you feeling about Ohio State's draft pick, potentially in the first round? Who do you think might go first? How many do we get in that first round tomorrow night?
How many Buckeyes go in the first round?
Yeah.
So
how many do you think?
I'm thinking so the potential is, I'm saying the ceiling is going to be 2 or 3.
Okay.
And well, actually, no, the ceiling's 3, the floor is 2. Because right now they have
Ooh, the floor is 2. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Emeka Buka is first round, and so is Donovan Jackson first round. But here's the thing: the projections is a lot of Buckeyes are going to go in the second round. I'm talking about Henderson, Junkins, JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer, Josh Simmons, just a plethora of Buckeyes, who were key contributors in that the national championship season. So, it's kind of like, but here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Henderson, he's shifty, he's quick, he's explosive. I could see a team who really needs a running back taking him in the first round. That would be even second round would be a steal, because Junkins and Henderson are predicted second round as well. So again, Mecca Buka, great route runner, great hands, has speed as well. First round, Donovan Jackson, played guard, had to move out. So here's the thing about Donovan Jackson. He showed he could be versatile, dude. He had to move from guard to that tackle position. So that more than likely boosted his draft stock. It was like, hey, this dude could play both positions, very marketable. So, looks like, but
I think he earned a lot of money by being versatile.
Definitely. If it wasn't for Josh Simmons' injury, man, he'd be first round for sure. There's still a case where, a lot of GMs, a lot of teams, they look past that and they take him first round anyways.
Yeah, no, it really is. That's a big talking point, because throughout the season, or the first half of the season when he was still healthy, he was getting that talk as a first round guaranteed lock the way he was playing. And then he went down versus Nebraska, I think it was. And hopefully some teams fall in love, man. Like you mentioned, Henderson's got that speed where if a team like maybe Kansas City or Miami fall in love with him, he could absolutely go in that first round. He's overcome the injury history that he used to have, and he didn't get injured at all this last year. The only thing that makes me a little curious, and maybe he won't go first round and go high second, is just the value of the running back position has gone down so drastically, So
yeah. So here are the projections. So Mecca, they have Abuka going round 1 to Commanders would be huge, dude. Imagine him with Jaden Daniels, dude.
I would fall in love, man. That's my squad.
Man,
I would absolutely adore that.
That would be 2 Buckeyes, man. Him and Scary Terry and
Terry
and Abuka, same roster, man.
That'd be unbelievable.
Henderson goes to the Bears. I don't know how I feel about that, dude. I was Junkins to the Cowboys. Could you imagine? Dude, he would go first round in all fantasy drafts. Because, dude, remember how Zeke was behind
Seriously.
that offensive line, dude? The Dallas Cowboys always have an offensive line to the point it doesn't really matter who you insert as running back. But imagine someone with the physicality, the speed of Junkins behind that line. The
You'd be
possibilities
pretty
would be
lethal,
endless.
man. You'd be pretty lethal. I wouldn't like to see
Uh,
him go there. I can't stand the Cowboys, but he'd be a good fit for them for sure.
yeah. So you have Donovan Jackson round 2 to the Dolphins. You have
Oh,
JT
okay.
Tuimoloau round 2 to the Detroit Lions. Honestly, I would like to see Jack Sawyer go to the Lions, and here's why.
Yeah.
Jack Sawyer, he has grit. He has that motor to him.
It's a
He's kind,
hardworking country
he's
boy.
kind of like, I may get a lot of flack for saying this, but he's kind of like, in terms of like, he's kind of like Aiden Hutchinson, dude. In a way, he is.
In terms of
There's
like
that
blue
tenacity.
collar, hard nose type,
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying? Yeah, no,
definitely.
I see the comparisons there.
You know, he. So Hutchinson was that hometown hero
Sure.
of Michigan, and then you have Sawyer, hometown hero. Grew up in the outer suburb of Ohio, and I mean
Mm.
Columbus and Pickerton, Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's those same there's those same qualities right there.
Yeah, he'd be a tremendous fit, man. That's a position of need for the Lions as well, big time. So I could see maybe Jack or possibly JTT, but I feel like Jack would be a better fit for them.
But they would have Jack Sawyer going to the Chicago Bears. Dude,
Oh,
I'm sorry, dude. Why in the world, dude? The Buckeyes have this curse of going to just trash organizations. I mean,
well,
dude, like,
that's the thing, man. We produce so many good players that they go high in the draft and they go to the trash organizations. you
I mean,
know?
bro, like Marvin Harrison Jr. has Kyler Murray to throw to him.
Yeah, it's rough.
Chris
It's
Olave
rough.
literally has no quarterback at all throughout
Seriously.
his entire career. Garrett Wilson has that curse as well. I mean, he's had literally no quarterback, but yet
Nope.
still makes it work, dude.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to the Jets.
So yeah. You have man, you have Ty Hamilton going to Arizona Cardinals. Ransom at round 4 for the Philadelphia Eagles. That makes a lot of sense.
hmm
You have Howard, Las Vegas Raiders, a reunion with Chip Kelly.
Holy
Burke,
smokes.
the 5th
That'd be
round to the
fun.
Philadelphia Eagles. Man, Burke has fallen far, dude. I'm pretty, dude. That
Is
Oregon game was a killer, man.
Wow.
An absolute killer.
Yeah.
McLaughlin's going to the Bills. Cody Simon is going to the Cowboys, and Jordan Hancock is going to the Cowboys. But here's what
Cowboys
they have up here.
again?
They have they have Tyreek Williams going number 30 overall to the Buffalo Bills.
Holy smokes. They got him as a first round draft grade?
Yeah.
Wow.
So is Josh Simmons going number 25 overall to the
Oh
Houston
goodness.
Texans. But yeah, so it's kind of like let's see, let's count that.
Yeah, how many would that be?
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Dude, that would tie the record, man.
Wow. That'd be amazing to tie Georgia's record. That'd be phenomenal. What do you think the chances are of that happening? I mean, do you think they're like give it a percentage wise? What do you think high, they have a chance of setting that and tying that record with Georgia?
Let me see. So the record here I'm looking
Well,
this
the
up right
record's
now.
15 with Georgia, but I'm saying
Yeah,
what percentage
15
chance do you think
players.
we can
Dude, I think there's a good chance, man. Well, first of
do?
all, remember, so what NFL GMs really show up in droves, which team do they show up to? Which pro days
Teams
do
that
they
win
show up to?
titles, yeah, definitely Ohio State, the Georgias of
Dude,
the
not
world.
not not just team, dude. You don't remember during the Meyer years, like all those NFL GMs said Ohio State players are pro ready,
Yeah,
and
for
then even
sure.
under Day, a good amount of NFL GMs show up to Ohio State's pro day because they know what they're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
I can see I could see them tying the record. I
That'd be
mean,
really cool.
man,
I
dude, like nobody else is eligible though. I don't think so.
Well, yeah, that's all the draft eligible players we got is 15. So I'd be a little shocked if we tie it in this one. We had 14 drafted in 2004. That was the record at the time, and then obviously Georgia broke it. Obviously, um, I know last year they were talking about Michigan getting like 17 dudes drafted, and they had a
Nah,
handful. They had
man.
like I was like, there's no way in the world, bro. And they had 13 drafted, but most in the mid to later rounds 4 through 7 for the Wolverines last year. Um, but yeah, man, it'd be fun to see if they can do it, if they can pull it off, man. That'd be quite the headline. It's obviously it stinks to lose all that production, all that talent from Ohio State's perspective, but having that kind of headline is also really good for the program. So we'll see. The draft starts tomorrow. Obviously, the first round going down. I think I probably do agree with your Floyd. Actually, there probably will be two. The more I've looked at some mock drafts all over the internet, so there'll probably be two first rounders tomorrow to get us started. I'm going with a
Yeah,
Mecca, and I'll go with Jack. I'll go with a Mecca and Jack tomorrow.
yeah. So there's there's this guy who like he went and talked to like all these NFL GMs and he gave his final report. I forgot what his name is, but it's a for sure thing that Cam Ward is going to go number 1 overall.
Yeah, that
Travis
seems
Hunter
like a
is number
lot,
2
but
overall. They have Ashton Genty going top 5, dude.
really,
Which
Ashton Janty going
and then
top 5?
yeah, yeah, they have Mason Graham sliding down to 13, which I don't agree with at all. But there's
Okay,
I wouldn't, here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers traded up to someone and took Mason Graham. Dude, Jim
yeah,
Harbaugh would love to reunite with Mason Graham, dude. Would
he's a
definitely
difference
love to.
maker, man. I'm a big
Or
believer in him. I could definitely see it happening
yeah, or even Kenneth Grant, dude. Like those are two game changers. They know how to take over games, man. I mean,
for sure.
especially that national championship against Washington. I mean, they just completely took over that game, just
Yeah,
stacked Penix multiple times, man. And that was when they were sophomores, dude. And just like now they got another year and they're bigger, faster, stronger. But here's the thing: like people are talking about Mason Graham's size, and it's just like,
mhm.
have you not seen what he can do? Like,
You not watch
dude's
tape.
a man. Yeah, he's a man amongst boys, and he even
I'm
said,
very
"Go
glad
watch
he's
the Ohio
leaving.
State game film. That's all I need to see." And I'm just like, "Yeah, cool. I mean, yeah, you're right, man. That's literally all you have to go see." I mean, when a defensive lineman is able to take over a game like that, you want
Yep.
them on their team. And here's the thing: I remember seeing Mason Graham his freshman year
Yeah.
at the spring game, and I'm just like, this dude is gonna be a problem. And then he
Dude,
ended up being the one of the biggest problems in college football, man. That
he
was
really did,
just
man. No hate, nothing but respect for him there, man. He if I was a GM, I'd be taking him with my first pick in the top 5 for sure. I don't think the quarterbacks
yeah.
are good enough this year. And Mason Graham, in my opinion, I think he's as good as Ndamukong Suh. I'm really glad he's leaving the Wolverines. I'm very thankful.
Yeah. You
So
think he's good as Dominic Sue?
I think he's gonna be
Man,
that type of a player in the league. That's how
That's
high on
big.
him I
That's
am.
big shoes to fill, man.
Yeah, not quite
Man,
JJ Watt
that's
levels, but Ndamukong Suh type levels. So we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see how he
yeah,
pans out.
for sure, for sure. Not a lot of Georgia Bulldogs, and I mean, you have the two
I
edge
know.
rushers. You have Michael Williams and
Sure.
Javion Walker, but
Yep.
you know that's about it in the first round, and you know you got a couple Alabama, but
Mhm.
it doesn't seem like one specific team is going to dominate the first round.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It doesn't seem like there's going to be this flood of players from one university just coming off the board. I agree.
I mean that draft class from I think it was 2021 Georgia.
Yep.
Like that was ridiculous, man.
They
I mean, I
dominated the headlines.
yeah, they dominated the first round. I mean, that was kind of like the Miami Hurricanes back in I think it was like what 2001,
Yeah.
2002. They just
One
completely
draft. Yeah.
dominated the first round. I think they had like 5 or 6 first round picks.
You sure did.
And
Sure did,
and
man.
I don't care what anyone says, that '01 Canes team possibly the best of all time. I don't care
Yeah.
what anyone says, dude. Like you had Clint Portis at running back. You had Andre Johnson, who was just I think he was like a sophomore or junior.
Ed
You had
Reed.
Ed Reed, Jeremy Shockey, Jonathan Vilma, and don't even start with with the bench. Vince Wilfork,
Seriously.
and you had Kellen Winslow Jr.
Yep.
I mean, it was just
Unbelievable.
ridiculous, man.
Unbelievable stacked
But
roster, man. They were stacking talent like none others back in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s.
yeah, but Larry Coker drove that program, and well, I wouldn't say it was just Larry Coker. I would say, what's his name? Nevin Shapiro.
Yeah, the booster.
That
Yep.
that that one booster who just completely. Oh man, but yeah, I'm excited to see if Ohio State is able to at least tie the record. Because again, there's only 15 players eligible for the draft,
Sure.
so we'll see if they can at least tie it. But
Yeah. They're going to make a run at it. It'll have to be
definitely.
those late rounds uh, for some of these players to see if we can get that draft. Like Denzel Burke, you mentioned, maybe slipping off the radar. Cost him a lot of money, that Oregon game. He's probably going to go late. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But
Yeah, definitely. But all right, so we've done shows or videos where we talk about who's going to win the Big Ten. So
sure.
we decide to switch it up. We're going to be talking about the possible doormats of the Big Ten, and
Woo, and there are
I
plenty
compile
pickings.
yeah, I compiled this list based off last year's standings in the Big Ten, and
Mm-hmm.
all the way at the bottom, it is the Purdue Boilermakers. They went 0-9 last season conference play. We're not going to go overall record, even though they did finish 1-11, because we're going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about the conference. But Maryland finished 1-8 in the Big Ten. Northwestern 2-7. And tied for fourth is Wisconsin, Michigan State, UCLA, and Nebraska, all 3-6 in conference. So I do have this article on the predictions for this season. So let's start off with, let me find Purdue, because again, they're all the way at the bottom where, oh, here's Purdue. So this is based on Vegas. They make a lot of money for the reason they didn't they did an over under of 3.5 games. Talk about high expectations for the Boilermakers. So here's their schedule. So they have Ball State, Southern Illinois, Rutgers, USC at Notre Dame, dude. They play
Yeah,
Illinois,
they play them
Minnesota,
regularly.
Northwestern, Michigan, Ohio State, at Washington. That's traveling to the West Coast has been absolute killer for Big Ten teams. And then you play
Precisely.
Indiana. just seeing that they have them beating Ball State, Southern Illinois, and Rutgers just tells you that, you know what? I think they're. I'm gonna go on FanDuel after this,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna put like $100 towards the under because you know what? I could see them losing to Rutgers. I could honestly see them losing to
Oh yeah,
Rutgers.
Rutgers is a way better program than them right
Yeah.
now.
Wait, I mean, they're not even they finished higher than, Wisconsin, Michigan State, UCLA, and Nebraska last year. So,
Honest,
it's
yeah, honestly, Rutgers under Chiano is kind of a mid-level Big Ten program now. They've ascended out of the basement.
yeah.
So
But even though Purdue did get Nitro Tuggle
mhm.
in the transfer portal,
Yeah,
I just don't see it, man.
they got one of the worst rosters in the Power Four. It's going to be another rough season for them.
I mean,
Brand new head coach, but gives them maybe a little bit of hope for the future. But this year is going to be just as bad, most likely.
wait, didn't the head coach they have get fired after one
Mhm.
season? Wasn't it their offensive coordinator who got promoted to head
Yeah.
coach? And then
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they don't have any they don't have much
Transition.
NIL, but I'm wondering how much they forked over for Nitro
It,
Tuggle.
and if they do, they're spending it on basketball because that is their bread and butter.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely. Purdue is definitely a basketball school. It's no longer the spoiler makers.
no,
Jeff Brom, Jeff, is it Brom or Fromm?
Brown, yeah.
Oh, Jeff Brom is
You're thinking
gone.
Jake Brown,
Yeah, Jake from State Farm.
right?
But yeah,
Yeah, Jeff Brown's
but
leading Louisville now, and those days of massive upsets are long gone. They don't have the types of Rondell Moore and those guys coming to campus anymore, nor do
I
they
mean,
have good quarterbacks.
even their recruiting classes. I mean, my God, they're like bottom of the barrel, terrible. I mean,
It's
we're
rough.
talking like
It's rough in
two
West
stars,
Lafayette,
1 stars, 3 star. I don't even know if they have any like 3 stars. I mean, it's
few and far
awful.
between.
All right, let's take a look at Maryland. Mar I mean, Maryland was respectable in like I think what 2023, and then they just after Tagovailoa and who is that wide receiver Hakeem Jarrett.
Hakeem Jarrett, yep, that's a good pull.
So
So somehow they keep on giving us runs for our money. I'm not sure how,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they
So
sure
the
do.
over under is 4.5 wins. So they play FAU, Northern Illinois, uh Towson, who the hell is Towson? Washington, Nebraska, Indiana. So then they play at Wisconsin, at UCLA, at Rutgers, at Illinois, then Michigan State. So remember how Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame? Just
Yeah,
gonna put that out there. It could
sure.
happen. It could happen to Maryland. It
No
could.
doubt, man.
Um,
There's potential there.
man,
With Loxley there,
I
anything can
don't see
happen.
them. I don't see them beating Illinois. I mean, I don't s-
No,
no, I
Illinois.
don't see them beating I don't see them beating Indiana. I mean, like
Oh, okay.
Kurt Signetti is once again playing the transfer portal really well. I mean
Yep.
that's how he's making it. That's his bread and butter right there. He's played the transfer portal really well, and I think they're going to be a good, really good team next year for Indiana. But man, I
I'm in
wouldn't
agreement.
count this Nebraska game as an automatic win. I
Okay.
wouldn't. Nebraska, I mean, Rayola's what his second it's going to be his second season. Uh
Great
more
improvement.
more weapons around. I mean, there was some promise. I mean, wasn't too confident in them when once again they blew that game against Iowa. But you know what?
Painful
I'm
losses for them.
and I could see them, man. You know what? I'm gonna say under 4.5 wins. I don't
Okay.
like this. I just don't like this Maryland team. I mean, ever since they lost Tugalow and all the other talent,
I I
they're
think
not
that
really
would
playing
get
their.
Loxley fired. I personally,
Oh,
I think we talked about in previous video that he's one of the coaches that's on the hot seat and has to prove himself this year. His time's running out in State College there, and or not State College, but State Park. And I think he's not going to make it. He might get fired mid-season, even if it's trending the way you're thinking.
I mean, like who? Wait, didn't they get that one really good defensive end? Uh,
He, I mean,
recruiting.
they've always had good players since they've been in the Big Ten. Just never a good team, never a team that can get over 8 wins.
Yeah, definitely. But man, you know what? I'm gonna sleep on this one. I'll I'll think about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if you know they because Vegas actually has them improving a little bit. Um,
Okay,
maybe to 5 wins, but you know, I'm gonna look at the. I'm gonna do some more research on this, and then I'll next live I will make my final prediction on this.
for sure, for
But
sure. See
all
what they
right,
got.
Northwestern. Let's look for where is Northwestern. But yeah, Northwestern.
I think,
Ever since Fitzgerald, got canned for, you know, the whole was it hazing thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
freshman
he
hazing.
got canned for the freshman hazing.
David
But
Braun took over.
yeah. So the over under is 3.5 wins. Talk about more high expectations. So the wins are
Whew.
Western Illinois, UCLA, ULM, and Purdue. Um, then they play Tulane, Oregon, at Penn State, at Nebraska, at USC, Michigan, Minnesota, at Illinois. You know what? I could see them beating Tulane possibly.
Yeah, that,
But
that might be it.
yeah, I
They're,
mean
they're a
that might
homeless program right now, man. They don't have a stadium. Like, how could they possibly recruit? Like, what a worse time to let go of your legendary long-term coach and Pat Fitzgerald when you don't even have a home stadium to recruit to. Now they got a beautiful gem of a stadium coming, but they're a homeless team right now, man. It's got to be an impossible job for David Braun to try and recruit to Northwestern right now. And I do not pity him.
Yeah,
He did tremendously his first year, getting 8 wins. But wow, last year was rough, man. Just fell
you know
off
what?
the
I'm gonna
deep end.
say yeah. I mean, especially like during a time where the complete landscape of college football is changing. Like you don't
Sure.
want to have this type of tragedy go on. I mean, yeah, lost Pat Fitzgerald, legendary Northwestern head coach.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say over though. I think they get over 3.5 wins.
Ooh,
Um,
okay. All
so
right. I would go under on that personally, but I mean you can debate. There's some wins on the schedule, but whoo, their roster's nasty. It's not quite Purdue bad,
yeah.
but it's pretty rough. They had a lot of people leave the program. So
All right. So tied for fourth, Wisconsin. So tied for fourth is Wisconsin. So
is UCLA not
seems
considered the
like
bottom of the draft by this
I
article?
mean tied for fourth. No, this has like this is just like random order. Um,
Okay.
but yeah. So Wisconsin. So the over under is 5.5 wins. They play Miami, Middle Tennessee, Maryland, Iowa, Washington. They are at Alabama. They are going to get absolutely smacked again.
That's me, boat race again.
Um,
Yeah.
they're at Michigan. They're at home against Ohio State. They're at Oregon, at Indiana, Illinois, at Minnesota. Man, they have a pretty tough they have a pretty tough schedule, dude.
Yeah, this schedule's
Uh
loaded, bro.
yeah. But man, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Another transfer quarterback
You
for
know
Luke
what,
Fickle, man.
dude? I think that man, you know what? I'm gonna call it. I think this is Luke Fickle's possibly his last season, dude.
Ooh.
Normally, and you know what? I said this before, and I'll say it again. He had success at Cincinnati because he
Mhm.
was recruiting well enough to play well enough in the conference that they were in. But
It's
now
true.
that he's in the Big Ten playing with the big boys, where a good amount of these teams they're recruiting like top 15, top 20, and
Yeah.
Wisconsin's not even recruiting top 50. Like there's where the talent gap is. So, again, he had the success at Cincinnati because he was recruiting well enough in a conference that wasn't really that tough to begin with. Now that
And he
he's
was
at
in a state
Wisconsin,
and he was in a state that he knew all the high school head coaches because he's lived there essentially his whole life except for his pro career. So he had great relationships with the high school head coaches in the state of Ohio. Now he's going to Wisconsin, not a talent-rich state. It's a totally different ballgame out there.
yeah,
It really
I
is.
just I think that after this, I mean, just realize that he's just not a coach that's meant to do well at a big time school. I mean, he did well at Cincinnati for a reason. They're not a big time school. They don't play in a big time conference. I mean, even show when they got to the playoffs. I mean, kudos to him for getting Cincinnati to the playoffs, but
Mhm.
it was clear that, just not meant to play with the big boys. I mean, even in Wisconsin, not meant to play with the big boys. He's not the coach.
Interesting.
Do this. It's a pretty tough schedule. I'm gonna predict under 5.5 wins. It's his last season. Just
I I'll go ahead and just play devil's advocate on it. I think he did well, decently enough with the transfer quarterback his first year. Got to 7 wins. Gave Ohio State a run for their money in Camp Randall. Um, I think his offense is heavily dependent on quarterback play, and last year was so rough because the quarterback went down in the Alabama game. Now I think he's got the pitchfork and the fans kind of against him because he's changing Wisconsin's identity, you know?
yeah.
So that's what's working against you. That's where I could see where he could be correct. If he slips up and only gets well, I'll say 7. Say he gets to 7 wins. That might not even be enough to keep his job because I don't think the fan base is very happy with Luke Fickle right now
I
because of
mean,
him completely uprooting their identity as a program.
man, I mean they don't have the same dominant backs they had under what's his name? Paul Christ.
Paul Chris or Brett Bielema or Alvarez or anybody.
None of
I
that,
mean,
dude.
for the past 30 years, Wisconsin been known almost to the level of a Michigan and Ohio State for running backs, and now he runs the air spread offense. Bringing that to Madison, and I don't think fans are adjusting well to it.
No.
So
Here's the they have Jalen Ballard now. Ballard didn't really
mhm,
see actually he didn't see the field much at all at Ohio State. But,
it's true.
it could be like another Jamo situation where he ends up being an absolute burner for Wisconsin. I mean, I
That's
was watching practice footage,
yeah,
just a clip that they showed, and it looks like he's balling out. So he could be an absolute weapon for him. But again, just matter can the quarterback stay healthy? Because if not, like,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
but
It
all
could be a
right,
rough season, but
Michigan State, the Spartans
Spartan,
of East Lansing.
dude, I'm starting to
Dude,
really doubt the Jonathan Smith hire, man.
really, dude,
I was super high on it.
it was his
I was
first season, man.
I know, but recruiting wise, dude, has been so pathetic so far,
I mean,
and he's losing his best players too. Like his superstar cornerback left for Michigan of all programs, and I just read earlier today that um, they lost a highly coveted running back to another program to the transfer portal. So I don't know,
I
man.
mean,
I'm
man,
starting to lose confidence already in Jay Smith.
look,
Charles is
his
nice though.
it's year. He literally just got done with year one, dude. he probably wants to bring in his own players, man. Give it a chance. We've seen what I mean, dude. If he can turn around a team like Oregon State,
Hmm.
then there's. I'm not saying that he's going to turn Michigan State into this, national powerhouse that's going to go on an Alabama run to win national championships. I'm saying
Yeah.
that he's going to, dude. I'm sorry, but dude, Mel. The only reason why Mel Tucker got that abs they got that big extension for a lot of money is because of Kenneth Walker. He just so happened to get that diamond in the portal and be able to get
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
He got an extension because they're afraid LSU was going to lure him away, and so they're like, okay, we'll give you $100 million over 10 years, and
You fleeced
he
them, man.
had a little phone fun, but really don't want to get into that. But it's just Kenneth Walker is the reason. But ever since that, their program just absolutely went down the gutter.
Hmm.
Just the firing of Mel Tucker, and then like the whole just why he got fired, and then you had their offensive coordinator get promoted to head coach for a bit, and then it's just like give us some time. I mean, they're pretty much at the lowest point of their program like possible. I mean, here's the thing. It kind of reminds me of, I think it was like 2003 season, you know, and gosh, let's see.
So,
Jeff Smoker had
yeah.
gotten kicked, I'm pretty sure suspended for the year because he was caught, you know, smoking marijuana. I think he failed the drug test.
I think I remember
Un-
that. Yeah.
Unfortunate that his last name is Smoker, and he
Right.
got caught doing that. But and then just like they didn't. I think they won like what 2 or 3 games. That was like the lowest point, and then they brought in D'Antonio, and then it took him a while to build up that program.
Hmm.
I think that could be the case for John L. Smith. You got to give him some time, man. If after year 3, there's literally like during year 3, there's literally like little to no improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see some improvement this season.
They're definitely gonna be patient with him because of all the money that they still owe Mel Tucker. So they're definitely gonna give him a looser string than most because they're not gonna want to try and hire another guy. I think he's a good coach. I do think he is a good coach because of what he did at Oregon State. I just fear like potentially maybe he's already lost the locker room. I don't know, but we'll
I mean,
see.
dude,
Hopefully they can improve. What are they projecting for win totals for them?
let's see. Oh my gosh, under 5.5 wins.
They're 5.5 also.
Yeah,
Whew.
their over under is 5.5 wins, and the pick was under 5.5. All right, well, you know what? I think there's going to be some improvement. I'm not saying that they're going to, compete for a Big Ten title this season, but
Yeah,
I think there's going to be,
definitely.
a little bit of improvement. All right,
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, there's some incremental improvement there.
on to UCLA. What can we say about them? They just got
Bruin.
Nico Amiel Lava. You know what? I butchered that name. I have
Pia
no idea.
Maliava. I
Okay.
figured it out over this last week. I couldn't say it
So
in our video.
Ima Avil Avil. Never mind. Okay,
Just say
we're
Nico.
gonna say yeah, Nico. All right. So the over under is 4.5 wins. So they're at UNLV, New Mexico, Maryland, Nebraska, Washington, Utah, at Northwestern. They play Penn State at home, at
Oh,
Michigan State, at Indiana, at Ohio State, man. Talk
yeah,
about a
buddy.
reunion, dude. Got completely waxed in the
Nico
playoffs.
coming back.
Got his helmet cracked like 5 times.
Oh,
And
did.
they're at USC. You know what? I could see them losing to Nebraska. I could see them losing to Nebraska. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna go under 4.5 wins, man.
I'm
I don't
100% going under.
I don't have any expectations for them at all.
No.
I mean, current, we're gonna get that to a bit, but let's just say Lava is being sued for a breach of contract during his short stay at Tennessee.
Sure.
So is his brother Madden. So, but
Goodness gracious, man.
we're gonna talk about that more. But man, like I have no hope for this UCLA team. There's a, you know what? I'm starting to see why Chip Kelly left. I mean, he left being a head coach to be an offensive coordinator at Ohio State. He's
Sure.
probably like, you know what? There's no hope. This is not USC. The boosters really don't seem that involved.
Yeah.
Um, so it's,
Th-
I
There's
mean,
no drive. There's no motive. There's no energy from that program at all. They're just a lifeless program.
who was Deshaun? I mean, I know Deshaun Foster was running back in the wait, didn't Deshaun Foster play at UCLA?
Yeah, he was.
I
Yeah, he
think
was. Yeah, he was
yeah,
playing for UCLA.
I think he did. Man, I remember that really awkward
That
interview he gave at Big Ten Media Day. Like, hi, I'm
was
Deshaun
tough.
Foster, coach of UCLA. If you don't know this, we're in LA. It's just like what? Of course.
Brutal.
Of course,
No
man.
prepared statement.
No. So you want to know how their season's gonna go watch that go watch the interview again, because
Who's I got
that's
a
another
question, man.
foreshadowing.
We got Northwestern and UCLA both kind of bringing up the basement for the Big Ten, man. Who in their right mind, outside of those two fan bases, would tune in to Big Ten Network to watch UCLA versus Northwestern play football, bro?
They could end up on Peacock, man, but that's if Peacock's
Sure,
being generous.
sure,
So
sure.
yeah.
That's gonna be a
But
3-6 final game right there.
yeah,
But yeah, UCLA's
I'm gonna pick
roster.
under for 4.5 wins.
I think second to Purdue, UCLA has the second worst roster in the Big Ten Conference this year.
Oh yeah,
Just
definitely. I mean,
personally,
it helps. I mean,
Northwestern is
I
close
guess it
though.
helps. Yeah, I guess it helps that they have Nico. We'll see. From what I saw at Tennessee, uh, just was not impressed at all. If you want to
Right?
know why, go watch the ending of that Arkansas game. Literally, it's fourth down, the clock is running out, and he runs
Yeah,
out of bounds. He probably thought it was,
exactly.
I don't know. He probably thought it was third down, you know. But
It's a rough moment for the
all
kid.
right. Yeah. On to Nebraska. So the over under is 7.5 wins. So they
Oh,
play
that's a
Cincinnati.
tough one to bet right there because they're right there around 7 every year.
Yeah.
6, 7,
Hey, you
8.
know what?
Definitely
There,
not 8.
there's a reason why MGM makes a lot of money, man. They know
Yeah,
exactly what they're doing, dude.
that's a
But
really tough bet.
so Cincinnati, Akron,
Ooh,
Houston Christian, they have them beating
Houston
Michigan.
Christian. What?
I don't know, man. Uh Michigan State, Northwestern, USC, Iowa. Then their losses: Maryland, Minnesota, at UCLA, at Penn State. You know what? That's ridiculous, man. I'm gonna say over 7.5 wins. I think they beat Maryland. I think they beat UCLA. I think they beat Minnesota, dude.
I'm
I'm
a
gonna
big
switch it. I think they lose to Michigan though.
Yeah, they beat them last year, but I could see them losing to the Wolverines again. I'm a big believer in Matt Rule, man. Do you think they take it sounds like you think they take the next step, man, and start overcoming some of these close losses that Nebraska's just been known for the last decade.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, first off, they got to get over that Iowa hump. Like
Yeah,
the
they really
last two
do.
games, just pure just disaster and heartbreak. I mean,
Right.
walk-off field goals 2 years in a row when they had the game won. So,
Mhm.
uh, but yeah, I mean, Dylan Raiola going into year 2, and then, you know, he's got some pretty good weapons around him. I
They
wouldn't
got
say
decent talent out there.
I wouldn't say they're elite, but I'd say they're
No.
pretty good. I think that their defense pretty good as well. You know, we should call into the Nebraska Voice of College Football.
Definitely.
and
That's
ask
Justin. What's up?
Justin about it, how he think, or maybe we can have him on the show, how he thinks the Nebraska season is going to pan out.
Yeah, I think so. That'd be a lot of fun.
But I'm going to say over 7.5 wins. I mean, mind you, these Wisconsin, Michigan State, UCLA, Nebraska, they were all 3-6 in conference play. And we're doing the doormats. We're going based on conference
Mhm.
play, doormats of the Big Ten. So, final conclusion. I think that I'm sorry, man. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I think Purdue, until they figure something out, man, they're gonna just walked all over in the Big Ten. They're gonna be what Rutgers was before Greg Schiano, dude. Just a complete
Yeah,
embarrassment. Get out of the
pretty much
conference.
it.
Go join Conference USA or something. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
think they're gonna come in dead last again.
No, I agree with that assessment.
I mean,
I wanted to get a little
unless
word in on Nebraska. I'm torn because I am a believer in Matt Rule. Um, I think their ceiling is 8 wins. I don't think I could envision a scenario where they get above 8 wins. Um, although the schedule is kind of nice. They don't play anybody tough out of conference, but I think I'm gonna go with just under. I think they get 7 wins, so I'm gonna go just under for Nebraska. We'll see if the Cornhuskers can develop enough offensive talent to actually give Rayola reason to stay in Lincoln. So we'll see what happens with them
wait,
there.
hold up. You think if they have another, kind of a letdown season, he'll transfer? You think so?
There's a possibility. I mean, shoot, he went to 4 different high schools in high school, and he flipped recruits 3 times. So he's definitely not one to stick at a place. So
I mean, hey,
we'll
like he's
see.
doing a lot better than 4 high schools in 4 years. Well, you know what? He's at Nebraska for a second year in a row, so you know what? He's already doing better than he was.
Sticking to
But
the commitment a
yeah,
little bit
man,
now.
mark
So
it
we'll
for the
see on that one.
books that Purdue is going to be the doormat of the Big Ten, not only this season, but they will be a regular. Like I
Oof.
said, they are going to be what
Don't,
Rutgers was before Greg Schiano. Just
yeah.
no hope,
I,
in complete despair and disaster.
I don't disagree with that, man. I really don't. I mean, for the foreseeable future, they did hire a decent coach. I think they got the guy. Was it from UNLV? I can't remember what his name is right now, unfortunately. But they got a decent coach, but it's just such a dead and dormant program, and it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel for the Boilermakers. I don't see them being a high performer for the next couple years. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with
definitely.
your
But
assessment. Purdue's gonna be the basement dwellers for a while.
yeah, definitely. But all right. So Peter and we were at this Michigan spring game, and
Sure
there's one
were.
player in particular that we want to discuss because this player is already calling the shot that he's going to win a couple Heisman's. Yes, we are going to be talking about Bryce Underwood. So from what
Yep.
I saw at the spring game, the kid has potential, but he didn't. To me, it didn't seem like he clearly won the job. Like he was, it doesn't seem like he's gonna be the clear cut starter. Like he didn't win the job. His long ball needs work.
Certainly.
Couple overthrows, but it doesn't help that he does not really have those explosive, dominant receivers. Kind of like Braylon Edwards. Mario Manningham, Nico Collins. Just to name a few. I mean
Yeah.
that could definitely be a problem and leave him frustrated. But you know the reason why we're talking about this because from just the amount of hype that that this dude has received from Michigan insiders, just the media. I get that he was the number one overall recruit in the 2025 class. Not saying that he's not going to be great, because he does have the potential to be great.
It's
What
got a
I'm
lot of arm
saying,
talent.
is just as of right now, I'd say overhyped as of right now.
Hmm.
I mean, Connor Stanley saying he looks NFL ready. I didn't see that. But I mean, what do you have to say, Peter?
He was 12 for 27, man. He has a very strong arm. He was definitely nervous at the beginning. Like, he had some delay of games, like procedural stuff going on. His throws were erratic at the beginning. Um, he made a couple decent throws towards the fourth quarter. His receivers just completely let him down. I think he's going to do a lot of cussing out of his wide receiver room come the summer and fall ball, because he he has a enormous potential,
And
um, but his weapons are just going to let him down.
and you
He
know
has
what?
no experience.
Yeah, that you know what? I get we're Ohio State fans, but this is not rivalry banner. So here's the thing: when Michigan fans critique Ohio State, when Ohio State fans critique Michigan's football program, it's not really taken seriously. It's perceived
Sure.
as rivalry banners, so we throw insults, we knockdowns and all this other mumbo jumbo. And it's just like we're just reporting honestly what we saw at the spring game.
What we,
Now,
yeah, what
rivalry
we
banner would be
witnessed.
saying, well, Bryce Underwood is trash. He's not going to do anything remarkable at the university. We don't know that. We're just reporting what we saw at the spring game, honestly. But what I
His
will
first
say,
performance was not confidence inducing.
yeah, but what I will say is he's talking about winning a couple Heismans, but
Right.
it's not going to be his fault if he doesn't. It's going to be Michigan's fault for not
Mhm.
putting these explosive weapons around him. And I have a list of past Heisman winning quarterbacks and the type of receivers they had around them. Kyler
Sure.
Murray, he threw for 4,500 yards and 40 TDs. Who did he have? Marquise Hollywood Brown and CD Lamb. They were
Come
both
on.
first round. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, CD Lamb was a first round pick. Maybe Hollywood Brown. Let's see. Baker Mayfield, 4,340 yards, 41 touchdowns. He had Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, Dede Westbrook, and Sterling Shepard, all NFL guys. Joe Burrow.
Right.
I mean, my gosh. And this is when I saw the stat, Peter. I was like, what in the heck? 8,565 yards, 76 TDs. I'm pretty sure they're talking about just his 2 years alone.
Yeah, that's career numbers. Yeah.
But I could have been reading that wrong, but he had Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, and he even had Thaddeus Moss, who is Randy Moss's son. Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels, 3,812 yards, 40 touchdowns. He had Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and Kyron Lacey. Rest in peace. That was a very sad story. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
all first round talent. I mean, I know that these next two are runner ups, but Trevor Lawrence, man, we saw what he did in college, but he had T. Higgins, Justin Ross, and Amari Rogers. If it wasn't for Justin Ross's injuries, he would have been first round.
Sure.
T. Higgins, first round, is the number 2 wide receiver behind Jamar Chase for the Cincinnati Bengals. Been very productive. Justin Fields, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. What else could I say? CJ Stroud, Chris Olave. Then you have Caleb Williams. He threw for 4,075 yards, 37 touchdowns. He had Jordan Addison to throw to. Um, I mean, even Brendan Rice and I think it was Mario Williams.
Yep. Yep.
Then Bryce Young. He had Jammer to throw to. What are those? Like
Exactly.
a good amount of those wide receivers, elite first round talent. They
Yep.
were a big contributor to them winning, to those quarterbacks winning the Heisman. So
Exactly.
my thing is like Michigan, they don't have those type of receivers. I mean,
And
what
not on the roster right now. That's for dang sure.
and just it. it doesn't seem like they're trying to build their team around their best player. They want to stick to the run game. I mean, sure, if you want to win national champion, if you want to, go on and win a national championship like you did before, fine. But right now we're talking about Bryce Underwood. I mean, he's claiming, I'm going to win a couple Heismans.
Right.
Well, you've seen the type of receivers that Heisman winning quarterbacks have had. And I consider Lamar Jackson an outlier because we
Sure.
all know what he did. He did a lot of the work with his legs.
Right.
A lot of the work with his legs. I mean, he had more rushing yards and touchdowns than any other Heisman winning quarterback.
It's true.
And that goes all the way back to, I think it was it Air Crouch? Is it?
Yeah, from Nebraska.
From Nebraska. I mean, he was a running quarterback too, and he had
Yep.
a lot of rushing yards and touchdowns. I mean, even Johnny Manziel.
From the option offense. Yeah, for fact.
I mean, dude,
He had
even Johnny Manziel, he had what's his name? Mike.
Williams, right? Mike
Yeah.
Williams.
No, I think I think that was Mike Williams. Yeah, but I mean, I'm like here's the blueprint that look. 2000. I've heard this argument. They're saying, okay, we didn't need this to win the national champion 2023. I'm like, well, you know what? Your best player in 2023 on offense was Blake Corum. So you guys went out and got a bunch of dominant offensive linemen and you made it work.
Seriously.
But right now, your best player is going to be Bryce Underwood. So what are you going to do to help make him successful? And I don't want to hear about, right now, some Michigan fans think their wide receiver room is okay. I mean, not just okay, like they're fine at wide receiver. But it's just like, no, you're not. You're the receivers. I mean, Andrew Marsh, he has a lot of potential. He does. But I mean, he's none of these none of these receivers that I just named off his list.
Yeah, they don't have a first round talent in that room.
So I'm thinking that either they're gonna have to like throw some NIL money at some wide receivers, because remember, nobody does it better than them now, or they're gonna have to be like, hey, we're gonna change our offense. Like it doesn't. I mean, they just got 2 more running backs in the portal. It just doesn't seem like they're trying to form their offense around Bryce Underwood.
Well, think about it from a wide receiver's perspective. Would you want to come to an offense that's proven to only throw the ball maximum 20 times a game? I know I sure wouldn't. I'm trying to improve my draft stock.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get that, man. I get that a lot of the Michigan fans showed up to his games when he was playing at Belleville.
Sure.
And I get that, just showing them the love and everything and going after him. But it's just like, you got no one you don't really have anyone to throw to. I mean, again, this is not rivalry banter at all. Like, but man, he just doesn't really have. So I don't see a scenario where he's gonna put up these massive stats around that Michigan offense and the lack of receiver production.
Well, even with JJ McCarthy there, man, he couldn't even break John Navarre's 20-year-old record of touchdowns. He couldn't even throw for more than 25 touchdowns in a season, and that was supposed to be their superstar quarterback. Like, this is the same offense they're running under Harbaugh. I know it's a new offensive coordinator now. Chip Lindsey's coming in, but it's the same offense, man. And I don't see him putting up crazy sets either, dude. Like, I can see him running for and being frustrating, extending plays on third downs with his legs, maybe. But for these wide receivers to get open, man, there was no separation that we saw in the spring game on Saturday.
No.
And even balls that were accurate were deflected away or hit receivers in the hands and dropped, or were thrown into double coverage. Like there's a lot of growth that needs to happen. And I don't even Bryce Underwood at his best. I don't see him putting up Heisman numbers.
And we're not saying Bryce Underwood is this terrible player. He's
No,
not going to he's not going to be the reason why he doesn't win the Heisman. It's
exactly.
going to be the lack of talented receivers as of right now that
And
are around him. Because if
and
you
just
look
the
at
offensive scheme in general.
because dude, like they're talking about getting Tristan Keys, a talented wide receiver in the 2026 class. It's not gonna happen. Like even like some play like even some wide receivers who got in the portal, like All-American wide receiver from BYU, showing no interest in Michigan. If
Right.
they want to make this happen, or if they want to make this happen, they're gonna change their offense. That's it. Or else
They
I don't
could
I
they
don't
could waste
see.
the Bryce Underwood years by being too stubborn and not changing it, you know?
I mean, I
So
I get it. Like I get it. Just Haynes and Jordan Marshall, they're gonna be big, powerful backs, but it's just
yeah.
like they're not gonna be the best player on the team.
No.
You form your offense around the best player on your team. I mean, look, the
More
best
coaches do.
players, the best players on Ohio State's team are the wide receivers. So what does Ryan Day do? He
Mhm.
goes out and gets these highly rated quarterbacks who'd literally love to come to Ohio State with
Yeah.
the amount of talent they have at wide receiver. He's forming the team around the wide receivers,
Mhm.
making sure they have someone who can get the ball to them accurately and proficiently. But I mean, even
Yeah,
look at
for sure.
all the quarterbacks under Saban. Look at the wide receivers that they had to throw to. Julio
Mhm.
Jones, Amari Cooper. I mean, man, dude, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, Jerry
Yeah.
Judy.
Yep.
Um, it
The list
just
goes on and on.
Devontae Smith, just
Heisman
ridiculous,
winner.
man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just insane. But yeah, that's. I mean, you got any other words about the rant I'm on, Peter? Because it's just like I just don't see it, man. I mean, it like you know what? Maybe they'll shock us. Because look, here's the thing. When Bryce Underwood was committed to LSU, he had DK Moore who was going to play with him,
Mhm.
and it just seems like now that he's at Michigan, you think like, okay, like Bryce Underwood is this real good quarterback. We like you think wide receivers would want to come play with him, but it's not because of him. It's because of Michigan's offense.
If yeah, like I said, if they don't change their offense scheme to fit around their best player, us Buckeye fans are gonna be rejoicing quite a bit, you know, because they're too stubborn to form an offense around their best player, I think. And we'll see. We'll see, but I don't see him breaking any records or anything like that. Like Denard is going to have better stats than Bryce Underwood could ever dream of, in my opinion. So
Wait,
I think he's a
what?
good talent. He's a great talent, actually. I do think he's a great talent. He showed he's got some serious arm strength. If he can rein it in, get a little more accurate with the ball placement, and make some frustrating run conversions on third downs, he could be a good player. But unless that's only if they change the scheme, only if they change the scheme, and we're gonna find out a lot this fall. But we learned a lot at the spring game for sure. That it looks like more of the same old Michigan offense. So we'll see.
Yeah, I man, I just remember thinking like, look, their defense is going to be really good, no doubt.
For
Dominic
sure.
Nichols be a problem, but
Yeah, he
it
looked
was more
amazing.
like, and you know what? Don't be fooled by the padded stats of that last play. We we
Right.
witnessed everything that happened before that last play. It was a snooze fest on offense. It was.
It was pretty
And then all of a
bland.
sudden, does that who does a trick play at a spring game other than try to get the crowd in it? Because trust me, I saw a lot of people on their phones. I'm not like, but yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens again. Bryce Underwood, great talent, but if Michigan doesn't really start pushing for these talented wide receivers and
Hmm.
change their offense, I don't see any Heisman's in Bryce's future. I just don't. Because again,
I'm right there with
I
you.
just gave multiple Heisman winning quarterbacks and the receivers they had to throw to.
I'm right there with you, man. I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
He's not going to have the
no, but
numbers produce that.
yeah, definitely. But is that it? You
Yeah.
want to wrap it up or?
Oh, I was
Yeah,
thinking
we
we could go
were
over the Nico situation a little bit.
okay. Yeah.
Um,
Let's go over the Nico situation.
so it seems like Nico is getting sued by the University of Tennessee for breach of contract. I don't know what kind of contracts have been put in place. I didn't even think there were any contracts in place at this point. Being the Wild Wild West that it's been so far in this first 3 years of NIL, 3.5 now. Um, but yeah, man, they brought a case and a suit against Nico, and his brother
His brother
Madden is
Madden.
involved in that too now from Arkansas. He only spent 3 months on campus. Now he's going to go out to UCLA with him, and wow, what a ridiculous scenario that's unfolding right now in the college football world. Do you think Tennessee has any grounds for this suit, or like what do you think is going to transpire with the suit exactly?
I mean, here's the thing, man. When this story was being reported about Nico
Yeah,
and how he was this cancer and he didn't fulfill the obligations of NIL,
right.
basically autograph signings, going to these meet and greet events. So I wouldn't, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there was some breach of contract because they're asking for like $200,000 back, and from
Just
his brother
200K. Okay.
Madden, yeah, 200K, and currently they're being sued, but just from hearing that, I mean, isn't that a breach of contract within itself to not abide by that you need to do all these events, these sponsorships? He was like he ghosted, he was a no-show. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did breach the contract. And his brother, wasn't he committed to he was committed to three school, like he was committed to Arkansas and now he's at UCLA. Wasn't he committed to someone before?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I hadn't heard him before he got added to this suit, but
Yeah, so look, man, you remember the Ball brothers? Uh,
a lot of similarities. I've seen that
a
comparison. Yeah,
lot, man, a
I've seen
lot,
that
dude.
comparison.
LeVar Ball was like a trip, man. I mean, like completely just was like the general manager of his who's a Lamelo and
Lamelo and Leangelo or D'Angelo. Well,
I
or I
I
forget what
I
it is.
think so, man. But yeah, just completely just ran his kid's career into the ground. But I mean, one of
Seems
one of them is I think one of them is playing for the Hornets.
yeah, he panned out. His other brother Leangelo didn't pan out much. So
But this is another case of like you're getting bad advice. I mean, from a family member, dude. I
yeah,
mean, here's the funny thing though. You know how he's asking for like 4 million from Tennessee?
sure.
He ended up getting less at UCLA.
Yeah, well, that's the thing,
I think
man.
he's
You
making like
burn your
what
bridges. Hey, you
1.5
get what you get.
million? 1.5 million, dude,
Yeah, you get what
at
you get when you burn your
UCLA.
bridges with your teammates. He had it good at Tennessee. He had it real good. He took a team to the playoffs based on his running back and his good defense.
He's about to learn about high taxes, dude.
He's gonna learn high taxes in the state of California. He's gonna learn. Oh man, like you said when this first dropped, someone's in his ear giving him some bad advice, and it turned out being his own father. So
Yeah, man. I
my
mean,
goodness, greed, dude. This is a greedy family. It seems like, and I mean, he's going from the SEC where all eyes are on him to a program that we just got done talking about is going to be a doormat program in the Big Ten, a basement dwelling program in the Big Ten. Like, they have worse wide receiver core than Michigan, worse wide receiver core than Purdue. Like, it's going to be. Nico got exposed by Ohio State. He's really going to get exposed by the Big Ten Conference now with where he's at. I
Yeah,
think
but
this is going to end up completely backfiring. It already has backfired, like you said, money wise.
so
But in terms of NFL draft wise, I don't think he'll be sniffed by anybody
yeah,
when it
so
comes time for that.
he tried to leverage NIL using the transfer portal.
Yeah.
In a way, he's probably saying, "Hey, you don't do this, I'll get in the transfer portal."
Right?
So David Stone was Oklahoma, was in the transfer portal for about what, a
Yep.
day or so,
Not
and then all of
long.
a sudden he's back in. I mean, are we in the age where players, highly talented players, are going to threaten the transfer portal in order to leverage NIL? Because, like, dude, it's like, okay, you're in there for a day,
100%.
and all of a sudden, you're mysteriously like, okay, I'm gonna stay at Oklahoma, dude. He won. I don't care what anyone says. He won an NIL. You know,
Yeah.
I think.
1000%.
I mean, dude, if other schools are tampering and saying we'll give you like a couple of million just to get in the portal,
Yeah.
I mean, who's to say that players aren't going to use that stuff as a leverage, man?
That's why you got to recruit high character individuals, man. People that actually want to be at your program. You know, you can dabble in the transfer portal, and that's been proven good for Ohio State for a couple players here and there. But for these entire roster turnovers, I think ultimately there's some programs you can benefit, but with these higher programs, if you're trying to win on mercenaries like Miami, Florida, it's not a winning strategy in my humble opinion. It just isn't. So you can fill
Culture
gaps
is
and fill
everything, man.
holes. Yeah, yeah. Culture is everything, man. There's a true brotherhood at certain universities. Ohio State's definitely one of them. But fill some gaps, fill some holes in your roster. Yes. Don't get 40, 50 dudes from the transfer like Colorado, like freaking. If you're an Indiana program, we talked about it. That makes sense. They need talent infusion. Go for it. But good luck managing the egos because that's a big part of being a college football head coach today. And recruiting the right individual that is committed to you as a program is going to be the key in separating these elite teams from these pretending and not contending teams and programs. That's kind of my 2 cents
Yeah,
on it.
definitely, man. I mean, dude, like I think college football in a way it's dead, man. I mean, if you go look
Yeah.
up the amount of players who got in the transfer portal compared to other years, I mean, this year it's just astronomically higher because people are greedy. They're either they're actually serious about going to a different school, or they're just trying to get more money out of the current school they're at. And it's just like it's literally the pros using using NCAA as a front, dude. This is not the NCAA. This is not college football. This is literally semi-pro football.
It's not what we grew up with, that's for sure. And like, there's some players. I mean, there's some players where they know they have no future of an NFL laying on an NFL roster. We got the draft coming up, this weekend. There's about to be 250 players drafted out of like 10,000 college football players. And so, and it's a not for long league anyway. So there's some people that are going to be good college players that make their money in college, and that's their ceiling, bro. They ain't gonna make it long in the NFL. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
I
lot of
mean,
greedy players out there, like you said.
we did talk about, we've been seeing recently that the career span of NFL players is shortening. I mean, like,
Yep.
didn't who for Ohio State went to the Cincinnati Bengals was a man, he had that amazing tackle in the Penn
Sam
State
Hubbard, you're
game.
talking
Yeah,
about?
Sam Hubbard, dude. I mean, how old was he? Like,
28 and he just
yeah,
retired?
28, just retired, man. We're seeing it more and more, especially if you're a running back. Like
Oh,
a
yeah.
while, not even that long ago, Todd Gurley,
Yep.
Le'Veon Bell, and yeah, they were the face of the league. Todd Gurley and
Sure.
Le'Veon Bell was the
They
were the
were.
face of the league, and now then just like you don't hear from them anymore. Uh,
Yep.
so I so in a way I can understand why you want to ask for more money, but
Hmm.
the thing that Nico did, that was just completely selfish, man.
That's
I
completely
mean, just
selfish and
showed that
shady.
he's not loyal to the university. He's loyal to the money that he signed for. That's what he's loyal to.
This story is probably going to follow him too, to not get drafted by anybody. I mean, I don't think he's a lead enough talent to get drafted anyway, at least not at this point in his career. And with the roster he's joining UCLA, I don't think he'll even be close to draft. I don't think he'll be talked about as a draftable player in a couple of years. So you ruin your relationships,
No,
man, and that's the thing. You hop from place to place, man. You have a you show that you value the money over being a good teammate. And I think that's the moral of the story in this one. So we'll see what
that's where
happens with him. But
yeah, that's where I get on board with for Ryan Day, because
mhm,
it seems like because Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, they're offered like millions of dollars just getting the portal. They didn't bite.
sure,
Brandon, like even like Brandon Ennis and Carnell Tate, they had higher NIL offers to go somewhere else, but they chose
certainly.
Ohio State, and a lot of other players too. Now it did suck to lose Justin Scott, who was Crystal, who committed to Ohio State, and all of a sudden he flipped Miami. Fine, go to Miami for the bag. We don't want that. I don't want that at Ohio State. I don't want
Yeah,
I
we
don't want
know.
money motivated players. I mean, yes,
Exactly.
NIL is a part of the game now, but if you're making it your main motivation and not your main motivation to, win championships, then and you're not about the brotherhood that's at Ohio State, please stay far away from the program. Because
Yeah.
I remember when Nico got dismissed from Tennessee. Ohio State fans, will they get him from the portal? And just like, no, don't get him from the portal.
Nothing.
He literally just showed who he was, and who
Sure.
he was is not what Ohio State is. Like Ohio State's a brotherhood. They play for
Hmm.
each other,
Yeah.
and he was just Nico's just not it, man.
It's a strong
But
testament to Ryan Day and his coaching abilities and be able to that they want to play for him. That's really encouraging for sure. So
yeah,
anyway,
definitely.
that's all I got for
But
tonight. You got anything else?
Mm, no, not really, man. I mean, like,
Solid.
hopefully, this apparently, there's gonna be a bill passing, uh, surrounding, NIL and stuff.
We'll see.
But yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. People were crying to the NCAA not too long ago about players
Sure.
being able to get paid because apparently, Harbaugh was a very big advocate. And then, you heard that story from Shabazz Napier, who played at UConn back in
Hmm.
2014, saying he
That's
would
right.
go to bed hungry, didn't have enough food. I mean, enough money to get food and stuff. And then it's
Yeah.
like, there's all this talk about how players should get paid. And now that, it's no longer convenient because it's the wild, wild west, people want to cry to the NCAA again for what
They
they
do.
wanted. So the NCAA is just sitting back saying, okay, like you wanted this. Don't like, we're not going to do anything. You guys wanted this. You deal with it. And plus, man, people give the NCAA so much crap. Like saying, "Oh, they're toothless. They don't have any say." Well, you know what? They're sitting back with their arms folded, just showing how toothless they are. And you know what? They're gonna stay that way because again, you guys wanted this. We gave it to you. Now figure it out. Deal with it.
Do you think it's going to be conference commissioners that are gonna start to wrangle this in and and kind of get a little more control and a little bit more of cutting into the Wild West scenarios? Or if you had to guess, who do you think is going to be stepping in to make this more unionized, or whatever you want to call it, whatever term?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know how this is gonna work. I mean, it is the wild,
Yeah, it's
wild
really
west
hard to
out
predict.
there. I mean, I'm not. It's kind of funny that again, people wanted this, and now they're crying. Some are crying about it. So to me, it's kind of funny because like, dude, what did you think was gonna happen? You're
A
letting all
lot of
these
people
these kids.
foresaw this.
You're seeing these kids get sponsorships, walking around with a pocket full of money. You're going to recruits are visiting Texas. You see all these Lambos lined up.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
Lambos and
seeing people.
Raris.
You're seeing, Bryce Young and Dr. Pepper commercials or whatever, and it's just like he's probably making millions off of that. So it's just like, what
Yeah,
do you think was gonna happen?
seriously though, seriously,
It's
man.
just funny, man. And it's just ironic, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
man.
That's probably my best
But
guess. Is maybe as conferences probably continue to grow, I think maybe commissioners will start hammering down on what is legal and what's not legal in their conference. But that's just a
yeah,
hypothesis. Like you, I don't have
yeah.
much of a clue. That's just my best guess of what might happen.
Or
So
maybe this NIL is just or maybe this NIL is just a giant NIL experiment and just not gonna work out. That I couldn't even imagine the backlash if all of a sudden NIL was just like thrown out the window, dude.
that would be
That would
wild.
just be
There
that
would
that'd be insane, man.
that really would be the
I don't
death
even
of college football, probably. I would
yeah,
hate to do
but
that. But
all right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. We are gonna get out of here. We change our show time every one. Like we're gonna try to do every Wednesday, but more than likely every other Wednesday, eight
yeah,
o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Click like, subscribe. We also post videos as well, shorts. Spread the word to your friends, other Ohio State fans, or you're just a fan in general of college football. Again, thank you for your support. And as always,
absolutely.
go Bucks and OH.
I oh, we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.